Well, this movie goes to show that spending time with family really is the most horrifying thing about the holidays. It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Krampus Movie Review. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and today I figured I'd go ahead and watch me a Christmas horror film. Better yet, a Christmas horror film I haven't seen yet. And even better yet, a Christmas horror film that I haven't seen that I should have seen. And that's Krampus. And Krampus was directed by the same guy that did Trick or Treat. And if you haven't noticed, I'm trying to up the production value on my vidges. Because, it's the holidays. It's my gift to you is better resolution and fancier, watch, it's going to pop away. It's going to go, because that's what we was talking about, Krampus. See, look, popped in, and it pops away. Isn't that neat? Anyway, don't worry about that. So let's start off the movie. And I gotta say, this is one of the most incredible intros, opening scenes to a Christmas movie, to a Christmas horror movie. Just, it sets the tone for kind of what you're getting yourself into, but it's also a reflection on real life society, because it starts out, they're in a mall, and the employees are waiting to unlock the door, and they get trampled, which is weird, because it's I guess it's the whole day throughout the mall, because it starts out, they're opening the doors, and then just everybody's just a bunch of frickin' animals. I'm trying not to say the F word because it's a holiday movie. It's PG-13 horror movie, so they don't really say they say they get their one F word in. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, this is a PG-13 horror movie, and I'm sure everybody out there's already seen this, and they already realize that, oh, this is a good movie. Maybe people don't realize that it's PG-13, because this movie is PG-13, yet somehow, some way, it still has some pretty decent scares, and not necessarily gore effects, but some intense things happen inside of this movie. And you don't really I had to pick the box up and look is this rated R, PG-13? Because especially once I heard the one F word, I was like, well, are they gonna say it again? Is there gonna be heads bitten off? I mean, there's frickin' we'll get to it. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself, but yeah, I love the opening of this movie. The opening of the movie just by itself gets a 10 out of 10, just because it hit me on a molecular level. So amongst the chaos in the mall that's going on, there is a production of the nativity scene, I guess that's for some school. This kid Max is fist fighting baby Jesus or something like that. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, but there's a fist fight, and then you see Tom, played by Adam Scott, come in, and it's all slow motion, and then it kind of cuts to they're at home, and he's scolding him, saying, I can't believe you're acting like this close to Christmas, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, there's this old lady, okay, and I want to bring her up, because it's Tom's mom. She's an old lady, she's in the kitchen, and she don't speak a word of English. Don't speak a word of English, but she understands English, because everybody talks to her in English, but here she is speaking old German. But she's this old German lady. But anyway, so the in-laws are coming, and they're all stressed out because the in-laws are coming, and when they finally get there, you kind of see why. As soon as they walk in the door, they just look like I don't want to offend anybody, but you can imagine what they must look like if they walk in and the first thing you think is, oh shit. But it's got that bald guy that's in all kinds of stuff. He was in Waiting, he was in The Office. He's constantly playing the same character, but he's really good at it. He's really good at playing the same character over and over again. David Koechner. He's a pretty hilarious guy. But in this, right off the bat, it's instead of being hilarious, he was just off-putting, and I was just oh, I hate you and your family, and I hope bad things happen to you sooner than later. But I mean, bad things do eventually start happening. But this movie, yeah, like I said, it's PG-13, and some of the stuff's scary. So yeah, basically, you get the point right off the bat that these people are annoying jackasses. And then Tom and his family have to put up with them until after Christmas. So they're all at dinner, okay? And they even bring this old fat lady that was in Edward Scissorhands, and she's like this old bitter aunt that hates children and hates Christmas and hates everybody. Aunt Dorothy. And God, like, if ever I were to punch a little old lady in the mouth, because she's just a despair. Like, they're all just terrible, especially these two sisters. Here, secretary will tell you their names.
The sisters are Jordan and Stevie.
Jordan and Stevie. And they just look like...
They
look like your stereotypical Trump supporter, okay? I said it, all right? I'm not trying to get into that kind of shit, but that's what these people fucking look like.
Yeah,
they look like they came from a fucking rally.
The people of Walmart.
They look like people from Walmart that, you know, are walking around going, yeah, Trump's gonna save this country. But I don't want to talk about that, because there is no saving this country, I guess. I mean, everybody's a fucking crooked son of a bitch. Anyway, don't worry about that. I don't want to get into that. This is just a movie review about Krampus.
Right, so shut up and talk about movies.
Why don't you go to hell? Anyway, what was I talking about? Hold on, see, now you got me all... So anyway, they're sitting around the dinner table, and Max had wrote a letter to Santa Claus. Like, remember the old German lady I was telling you about? They were talking about, did you write your letter to Santa Claus? And he's like, I don't know what to ask for this year. And then they somehow find this note that he wrote to Santa, or a letter that he wrote to Santa, and they take it out and they read it in front of everybody, which is totally a dick move. Totally a dick move. And at first they're all, and as they read it and they see what he actually wants, they kind of realize, oh, we're a couple little bitches. Point of the story is I really enjoyed that scene, because they all start flipping out. He's trying to get the letter back from him, and it's just like, well, why did they even let it escalate this far? That's the one problem I have with this movie, is like, these people are over the top people of Walmart. Like, he drives a Hummer. He's got a flashlight on a shotgun, which, you know, is actually a pretty good idea. It comes in handy later. But still, like, he's just overly stereotypical of, you know, the people that they're portraying. I mean, I don't know. I guess they do too good of a job at it. Maybe that's my fucking problem. I don't know. But other than that, there are small little increments of this movie dragging a little bit. But once it's not dragging, it picks up and it goes really well. What? He takes the letter and he rips it up. Because he was going to send it, but he decides he's ripping it up and throws it out the window. And then that's when Krampus had decided he's going to come pay them a visit. Because they go to sleep that night and they wake up and the power's out. And there's a blizzard. And there's a snowman in the front yard. And ain't nobody built that snowman. So how'd that snowman get there? So, you know, they don't really think nothing of it. They're like, oh, there's a snowman. He's like, it looks like the neighbor's power's out. And I gotta say, like, because the set design and the cinematography and the way this movie looks and is shot is damn flawless, everybody. It's just really pretty to look at. Like, especially, like, once the power goes out and everything's all candlelit. I really like that. But I also like when Beth, the sister, goes outside because she's going to go check on her boyfriend. She says, I'll only be gone for an hour. And she's walking and she realizes, wait a minute, it's getting colder. It's freaky out here. Looks up and there's Krampus. And this scene, or this sequence, whatever you want to call it, is fucking awesome. Krampus jumping from roof to roof. I couldn't tell what was CGI and what wasn't. Like, I mean, it does look like it was filmed on a set. Like, I doubt they went and bought all these snow machines like this. I don't know. I don't know what the hell. I don't know how the hell. I should have watched the special features, because this movie looks fucking amazing for such a small scale. Because, like, after, you know, the power goes out and Beth turns up missing, they start to realize something ain't necessarily right. So then Tom and Harold go out to try to find Beth when it gets dark, and they realize, oh, well, she isn't back yet, so we better go look for her. And then that's when they realize something ain't right in the state of Denmark, or something like that. Is that right? Something smells like fish in Denmark. something strange in a neighborhood. Like everything's fucking frozen. Like they go out venturing, they get to Beth's boyfriend's house, they go in the house, there's Christmas presents, which I love. There's just Christmas presents laying everywhere, like in a little, piece of candy kind of way. But the insides of the houses are just as frozen as the outsides of the houses. And then, things just start to escalate. There's something under the snow. So as they're walking back and they realize they need to get the hell out of Dodge, they find out that the Hummer has been destroyed, and then something tries to take Harold under the snow. Then he manages to get out of the situation, and they get back to the house, and then that's when, they realize something's wrong, something ain't right, what the hell's going on, and they don't want to tell the kids right away, but the kids already know, like, hey, there's something going on. And eventually, the old lady keeps saying, keep the fire hot. And you don't think nothing of it. But, I thought, like, keep the fire hot, then Krampus can't come down the chimney. Later that night, they all fall asleep, and the fire goes out. And then that's when things get real interesting. And, like I said, for a PG-13 horror movie, the effects are amazing, even though there's no blood and gore, just what you're seeing. Like, there's a scene where they're, in the attic or whatever, and I guess it's an angel comes down. That's probably the scariest thing in the movie, aside from the Jack-in-the-Box. But there's like a bunch of gingerbread cookies, the Jack-in-the-Box, the angel, the teddy bear, and then these elves. Like, and this is like pure nightmare fuel. So this movie didn't even need to be rated R to be scary, because just the costume design, the set design, the atmosphere, everything about this movie is creepy and disturbing. And then we finally get our full reveal of Krampus, in our third act, and he is just terrifying looking, like absolutely terrifying. And so for a PG-13 horror movie, you got to give it credit. It might not have the blood, the gore, the swearing, the titties, but it makes up for all of that in atmosphere, legitimate tone, and like suspense building, and just because there's some decent jump scares in this movie, and even though it ends on kind of a corny one. But overall, I'd say if you haven't seen Krampus, this is one that you definitely need to add to your collection. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. It was more like a 7 at first, but the more I sat and thought about it before I sat down and just rambled on like I know what I'm talking about, I decided it's at least worth an 8. Like, it belongs in your collection. You should probably watch it during Christmas season. Will you shut that cat up? Like, would it kill you? Anyway, don't worry about that. I know this review's been horrible, but if you could do me a favor and just like the video anyway, because there's so much more stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to. I'm afraid that there's a lot of people like me out there that haven't seen this movie, so I don't want to spoil nothing, even though I already spoiled some stuff. I'm just terrible at this. Well, hopefully it at least looks and sounds all right. Anyway, let me know what you think of Krampus in the comments section down below. And make sure you click the subscribe button. Just like, I'm going to use these new cards because I don't feel like making other ones. But don't worry about that. And hey, we'll see you next time. And I'm going to have to do this Patreon request coming up. Even though it's fucking December. And it's like a July movie. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.